let's just start. So generally, why would you connect a ventilation system to a digital world? The reason why Zehnder is working on this is because we see a lot of trends going to this direction. For example, the smartphone is omnipresent. It's increasingly an important tool for everything, to search for information, for social contact, but also to operate your doorbell or security camera or heating. Furthermore, we see that the trend to smart home is still growing. More and more people would like to automate systems in their home in order to increase their comfort, convenience, but also to achieve energy savings. And last but not least, there's a general trend towards data. Data is also called the new oil, and people, customers, end users, companies want to use data to the benefit of the customers and to offer better services. So the actual reasons to digitally connect a comfort ventilation unit, a ComfoAir Q in this case, is if you're an installer, you probably want to optimize your services, your digital services. You could proactively inform your customers when the indoor air quality needs attention. And you can achieve a closer connection to your customer by digitalizing the ventilation systems. If you're an end user, you maybe want voice control for your convenience, or you want a uniform user interface for all technical systems in your house. Not have an app, not have a telephone with 10 apps to control your house, but everything from one system. But there is more. For example, remote maintenance, ventilation comfort on demand. Of course, the confident feeling that everything works as it should be. And of course, smart home integration. On the next slides, I will present the first step of the digital integration for ComfoAir Q. So what is actually needed for digital integration? The components that are needed are, of course, a ComfoAir Q. That's obvious, otherwise there's nothing to digitalize. Then the gateway ComfoConnect LAN C is the central part, the gateway to the digitalization. So for all the types of digitalization and connectivity, this is the key part. Then you need a home network. Everyone has that nowadays. You need a smartphone or tablet, and of course the app to have on the tablet or smartphone. The app is available free of charge for iOS and for Android. Of course, you need also an internet access if you want to have cloud connectivity and remote support. There are some special cases for connectivity, and that is for a local integration into a smart home or whatever. That is, for example, the KNX gateway. This is a special gateway only for the purpose to connect to KNX, and we won't speak about it today, but in our next talk tomorrow, we will explain what it is. There's also another gateway that we have. It's the service case, the ComfoConnect LAN Cat C. This is a gateway that the installer carries around with him to make a local connection to the system of customers. And it's also not related to the digitization that we speak about today. So let's see which steps you actually take in order to integrate a ComfoAir Q into the digital world. Prerequisite is, of course, an installed ComfoAir Q. It doesn't have to be commissioned, but it must be powered and connected to the air distribution, and a connected gateway ComfoConnect LAN C. Typically, the installer would do all these installations that are mentioned here, but the gateway ComfoConnect LAN C can also be installed by an end user who has a little bit affinity with Technic. The actual integration then takes place by connecting the gateway to the home network. This is done by the end user, typically with a cable. That's the standard way, and it's of course the most reliable connection. But it's also possible to put Wi-Fi extenders in between to have a wireless connection. The next step is to search in the gateway to search in the app for the gateway, and within a few seconds it will find the gateway. And in the settings for the gateway, you can give the gateway a name in order to make sure if you have more gateways that you know to which system you are talking. You can set remote access and so on, just to manage your gateway. There's one important step we always recommend, and that's to secure the gateway by entering a PIN number. If you have such a PIN number in the gateway, not everyone who has, by coincidence, access to your local network can connect to your system, so it's protected. It is important to check that the remote access is enabled, because if the remote access enabled, that's the base for the remote service. However, for customers who want to keep their data strictly in their house, it's also possible to disable the remote access, but then of course the advanced functions that we offer are not possible, so it must always be enabled. Now the ComfoControl app is fully functional. So the question is, of course, what can you do with the ComfoControl app? There are a lot of, sorry, I have to think. The ComfoControl app is very suitable to operate your ventilation system as an end user. It is possible to do the ventilation settings, increase the ventilation speed or decrease it, or to set timers, for example, when you're not at home or when you're cooking, to set a timer for boost ventilation. Then it's possible to activate other timers, more technical timers, for example, to switch off one fan for a certain time, or to set temperature preferences. This is also for the end user. Then, of course, we support from the app the filter change. We have nice pictures that show where the filter should be placed in the right place, left and right. There's a link to the filter shop so that you can conveniently order new filters. And the app gives full insight into the details of your system. Not only the details of your system, but also important details of your indoor climate. For example, the ComfoAir Q provides 4 temperatures, the indoor temperature, the supply temperature, and also the humidities. So this gives you an impression how your indoor climate is even when you're away. Then the app also provides technical details like ventilation, volume, and the speed of the fans in order to check if everything is working right, but also information that's important for customers like the energy consumption or especially the saved energy because of the heat recovery function of the ventilation system. That's for the end user. Then, of course, there are configuration settings that can be done from the app. Of course, there's the commissioning wizard, a step-by-step process that helps you to commission the ventilation unit. For example, setting if it's a right unit or a left unit. It can be configured by software. But also the airflows per ventilation speed can be conveniently set from the app. Then another important function is the remote maintenance for installer, the remote support function. If an end user has an issue with a ventilation system, for example, too cold air supply or some strange noise, the end user can generate a code from the app, contact his or her installer, and with this code, this PIN code that is generated from the app, the installer can enter it into his or her app and then take over the control of the ventilation unit from the customer for maximum 12 hours, see all the details, investigate where the problem might be, and in many cases, he will be able to solve it. So now you might think, if we have such beautiful functions and useful functions, why do we need more? Well, there's a limitation in the app. It's just on the mobile device, so there's no PC from which you can do it. And you see only the technical data and the situation as it is now. For many cases, it will be very interesting for the understanding of your indoor climate, but also for failure analysis to look back in the past and to see how things develop over time. And how this is possible and what you can do with it, that will be explained now by Constantin.
Thank you very much, Peter-Maarten. I'm happy to present to you today some features of our newly developed indoor climate dashboard. And for that, I'm going to quickly switch over. And currently, I'm logged in our dashboard as an end user. So I'm a customer, and here I have the overview of my installed devices. As Peter-Maarten previously explained to us, I already connected those systems, and just a second. Okay.
You can see your screen. Yeah, it is fine.
Good. And connected them to our cloud and the indoor climate dashboard. I can see multiple units of the ComfoAir Q ventilation system and an external sensor that was integrated as well. And I could connect a Zehnder product that is a bathroom towel radiator from Zehnder as well. And on the right side, we can see the addresses where our devices are located. I have some metadata, the device status, and when the next filter is due. So I will jump right to this device here and open the detail view for this device. Again, on top, we see some metadata. This is all data that is a little bit more static and is showing things like a serial number to uniquely identify the device, and as previously mentioned, the address. Further, we connected a installer company to give us support and offer remote maintenance. After that, we have a section of controls. We already know them from the mobile device. Those are the same functionalities and features that we have on our mobile phones if we installed the ComfoControl app. And then further down, we get a lot of data previously presented by Peter-Maarten. So we have outdoor air temperature, supply air temperature, and what is very important, on the top right, we see last updated. So this data is from 4/13. That's 1 minute ago. The device transmitted all this data, and what is new, this is being stored. And how can we see that? Down here, we have our data history. So I can choose a period on which I want to analyze my data history and can compare outdoor air temperature with supply air temperature. Here we can see we had a lot of a constant temperature, and the supply air temperature is quite high. So our heat recovery unit is working just fine. The humidity will be there as well. We have supply air humidity and how much the fan is actually supplying in terms of volume per minute. Good. What would an end user do with this information? He can clearly answer questions like, what was the humidity during my last vacation? Then he can check the week and then choose this specific week that he was on holidays and check how his ventilation unit was running and providing fresh air to his house, even though he was absent during that time. Further, I would like to present to you a small problem that we specifically constructed for demonstration purposes. So we can demonstrate how we can actually support a user if he has a very specific problem that could be solved by having a look on his data. So what we did with this device, we detached the tube that is connected to the outside. So we have a spillover effect with this device it doesn't really get fresh air from the outside, and the only clue that we would have is that the end user thinks that the unit is not really providing fresh air. But if we check it, all the status is okay, all the sensors are working fine. But if we dig deeper now with the indoor climate dashboard, we can see where the problem might be. So if I compare here the outdoor air temperature, which is 21 degrees, and then the supply air temperature is 22 degrees, sounds reasonable, but the device is installed in Zwolle, and from Zwolle we checked the weather today, it's not quite 21 degrees yet. So this is an indication that there is a malfunction with the tube. So as I mentioned, we detached the tube and it's taking air from inside. And to check how long this problem already occurred, I could go to our history, select the week, and then I already see, well, this problem is already happening since Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Here we have those 21 degrees, and at that time, it surely wasn't yet 21 degrees in the Netherlands. The end user could need some support now, and for that, I will quickly switch over to our installer view. I switch accounts, and now I'm logged in as an installer. Here I have again the overview of the devices that customers are connecting to the cloud, and in a second step they connect it with my company as an installer, and I can see the units in my overview for devices. And again, we recognize it's the same overview. But if we open a specific device and we aim for the same serial number that we just opened previously, we're going to recognize that we don't see all the data. And this is on purpose because data privacy laws, they request that the data is always owned and controlled by our end user. But what we provide here is the device status and the next filter due date and the address of the installed unit that was shared from the customer with this company. But now the customer calls us and he explains his problem, and on the phone we kindly ask him that he would give us his remote control. And as an end user, I quickly switch back. This is demonstration issues. Okay. Normally, we would have control over the device. We can try quickly another one. Let's go for this one. Okay, we get the indication that support is active. And here, as an installer, again, I see support is active, and from previously just the metadata, now we see everything that the end user is seeing as well, and I could even control the unit, make some tests, talk to the customer on the phone, and try to solve his problem according to the data and get the advantage of looking into the history of his controls. Okay, that was from my side for demonstrating the climate dashboard, and then I would like to hand over back to Ercan.
Thank you, Constantin. Then I would like to take the opportunity for the next minutes to introduce to you the world of voice control by Zehnder. So my colleagues have shown you two ways how you can interact today with our end devices. So indoor climate dashboard and also the mobile app are of course also available to your customers, so for the end user. For the end user, we provide with voice control a third way how they can easily and conveniently interact with our devices. Well, which devices are supported for today for voice control? It's ComfoAir Q, the comfort ventilation, and Zehnder, the comfort heating unit that we are supporting for voice control. With Google Assistant and Alexa, we already provide a market leader for voice control providers. So these are the voice control providers that can be used by our customers, and ComfoAir Q and Zehnder are the devices that can be used by voice. Let's jump to the voice control commands that can be executed by the end customer. Here we are differentiated between device-specific voice control and scenes. Let's start by the voice controls for the device. By ComfoAir Q, we are providing per voice control 3 functions. First function is to change the ventilation level, activate or deactivate a party mode, or deactivating and activating the presence mode. So if I'm away or at home. The next level of voice commands are scenes. Scenes are cross-device voice commands. Sounds very complicated, but we will have a deeper look on it to better understand what it is. So at the end of the day, with scenes or a voice command that can act on several devices in federation. We are supporting as scenes away, home, cooking, party, and shower. But what exactly is a scene shower command? Let's have a deeper look on this example. When I execute the shower command, I'm sending commands to a ComfoAir Q and a Zehnder in parallel that are in federation. So that means by ComfoAir Q, I set the ventilation speed to max, and on a Zehnder, I activate the towel warmer. So with one voice command, I can act on 2 devices. That is quite comfortable. Next, we would like to show you a video from voice control in action to get a better understanding how it works practically. Constantin, I would like kindly ask you to show us the video.
Okay, let me take over and
thank you.
Switch this one on.
Behind me, you can see the ventilation unit ComfoAir Q from Zehnder. As a new feature, we can present to you voice control. With our transparent ventilation pipe and some action in it, I'm gonna demonstrate. Alexa, turn on fan boost.
Okay.
Very nice. Now let's turn it off. Alexa, set ventilation preset to away.
Okay.
How comfortable to control a ventilation unit.
Thank you, Constantin, for this video. I think it demonstrates very nice how we can interact by voice with our end device. In this is a special case with our ComfoAir Q. With this, I hope we could give you a comprehensive overview to the world of voice control by Zehnder. And now I would like to hand over again to Constantin.
Thank you very much, Ercan. The indoor air climate dashboard and voice control are currently available as a beta program from Zehnder. So this means we didn't release it officially as a product, but interested customers can profit from the new features and they can subscribe to this program. What do you need for that? You would need a ComfoAir Q ventilation unit, a ComfoConnect LAN C gateway, and a mobile app. And with that, you can hook your device up and get all the advantages from voice controls and the dashboard that we just demonstrated. We provided the landing page, the link, and you can sign up with your name and email address or contact your local Zehnder contact person. With that, I would like to thank you very much and hand back over to Peter-Maarten.
Well, I would like to thank you, Constantin, and Ercan to present these exciting new features. It's so interesting, and I'm so happy that this is actually available to anyone interested who bought a ComfoAir Q with a gateway, even if it was 4 or 3 or 5 years ago. So that was our presentation, and I'm curious to see if there are any questions. In the chat, I did not see questions yet, so if you would like to ask something, you can write it now in the chat, or you could raise your virtual hand, and we will give the microphone to you. Okay. No one raised his hand. We have some questions from the previous presentation, and one question was, as an installer, can I see when the filters need to be replaced at the customer's home? Constantin?
Yes, as we have seen before in the dashboard, we implemented this, and this is part of the metadata, and it's required to regularly change the filter to guarantee a healthy indoor climate. So this data is always available for the installer.
Okay, and one more question: how many devices can be connected to our dashboard and to our IoT cloud?
We didn't set a limit to that, just the devices that we provide and made available. But if you have many, you can connect all of them, of course.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, there is a hand, so
good.
That's great. So please either try to unmute yourself or...
Hello. Yes. Thank you, Peter-Maarten, Constantin, and Ercan. One question, maybe it's too early, but about the languages and the commands that you are giving to Alexa or Google Assistant. At the moment, I understand it's only available in English. For the once it is running, how you will manage the different requests for languages?
Okay, maybe I can answer your question, Wadi. Actually, we are supporting English and German, and the architecture is built in that way that we can easily add additional languages in future.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, I see another question in the chat, and that's from Wouter van der Stappen. Can I see error codes as installer?
That's a good question. Yes, an installer can see the error codes. This is similar to the filter due date, a crucial information if the system is running in a good way or if an error occurred. And I can see that. I can see the date and time when it first occurred, if it's prolonging, and I could even proactively approach my customer, the end user, and give him advices what should be done to solve this problem, even if the user might not have seen the error himself or did see any problems with his indoor air climate.
Very good. I take another look to the chat. It seems that were the questions.
I think
I think
Constantin,
we have another one, Peter-Maarten, if you allow, this is the last one.
Sure.
The commands to Alexa or Google Assistant, does it also work the other way around? That actually this assistant system is actually saying, communicating to me, hey customer, your filter is due soon, or any other kind of malfunctions or irregularities?
A very, very interesting input that you are giving, Willie, that we have also have a look inside. Actually, this is something that is not allowed from the architecture. Proactively sending commands from the device per voice to the customer. So it is a limitation of the, let me say, the technical limitation what we have in place, but we are looking in to the future to enhance it in that direction.
Okay, thank you very much. I see clapping hands. That's very kind of you. So as time is up and I see no more questions, correct me if I'm wrong, then I would like to thank you very much for your participation, attention, questions. And as last thing, I would like to remind you that tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we'll have another expert talk about connectivity. And this is Zehnder ComfoAir Q, Smart Home and Zehnder IoT Cloud in detail. If you're interested, you can still subscribe for that. Thank you very much and see you soon.